All right, so on Thursday night, which was the first stream of In the First Degree, we got introduction to the case, which basically an artist killed the owner or business partner in which the gallery, which featured all of his paintings. It looked like there were two possible motives for it. He claimed self-defense, and it's our job as the prosecutor to come out with a conviction of murder in the first degree. Looks like there are two potential motives for him killing his partner, Zachary Barnes. One is apparently he was doing some insurance fraud where he stole his own paintings to collect on the insurance money, and reason to believe that Zachary Barnes confronted him about that. So that's kind of like the grand theft. So maybe he offed him so to avoid exposing the fraud that he committed. Grand theft. And then secondly, there also looks like to have been a love triangle where Barnes was banging the defendant, by the way, James Tobin. That's who we're trying to convict. It looks like James Tobin's girlfriend Ruby was banging Zachary Barnes, so maybe we know he found out about it, so I guess you could have also tried to kill him. So like, dude, like, what the fuck? We know he didn't die from an heart attack. We know that. Oh yeah, sorry, stooping. Not banging, but stooping, to use the detective's term. All right, we don't want to see this, as great as it was. So I think we already kind of bungled some of the pre-trial interviews a little bit. So I think we're going to get a quote-unquote death here in the sense that we won't get a great conviction, but we'll still play the game out, this run. I think we just made our opening statement, and I think, Scylla, you might be able to confirm, but I think calling our first witness, like, if the opening statement of the trial was held on day 2, maybe calling the first witness would be day 3 on the trial. I can see it here. So this could be day 3. What we're going to find is, once we get to the end of this and inevitably have to replay it, I think what we'll do is likely save scum a lot of the interviews to make sure that we don't mess up at any point. You haven't played it. I think we went back to our thing. I think it's day 3 because we went back either to the hotel or something. There was like a TV report. I'm pretty sure it should be day 3. I'm just going to mark it as such, and we'll give out 3 bonus Edrics for reaching day 3. So we have to call our witnesses. This is an interesting thing. Who do we want to call first? Ruby, who was the girlfriend of, what's his name? Of James Tobin, the defendant. And remember, she was the one that was banging Zachary Barnes, who got murdered. We have Simon, who worked at the gallery. Oh yeah, let's start our timer. Thank you, Zoe. We have Simon, who worked at the gallery, and I think we got him to say that he was witnessing, or James Tobin was trying to put him up for the stealing of the art. So he might be helpful to us in getting the grand theft conviction, perhaps. And then Yvonne, who is the victim, Zachary Barnes, that's his wife. And she was convinced it was Simon. She saw him outside in the alley, like right after he apparently killed him. Of the 3 pre-trial interviews, I think Simon probably ended up the best in terms of getting the information. Ruby making second best, and even though Yvonne was our most friendly witness, we actually kind of screwed up with her interview, so we didn't get all the information we probably would have wanted there. So I'm wondering whether we start off with if we went with Simon, we'd be starting off with a prosecution on like the art. I'm trying to remember, though, whether we also got him to divulge information about the murder. Not as much. Yvonne can place him at the scene of the crime, and in fact, he was at the scene of the crime. We know that. And what's not in dispute is that he did shoot Barnes, but he's claiming it was self-defense. So it'll be interesting. Ruby can prove that there was additional motive, so maybe we start with Ruby. What I'm not sure is, from a legal standpoint, whether do you prove motive first and then the evidence, or do you do evidence and then like use motive as a supporting thing? I don't know. We'll probably start off with the evidence first, I guess. I'm not sure. Who's our strongest in terms of evidence? Yvonne saw him there. Probably Yvonne, because she was there. Simon and Ruby both can support the two different motives, I suppose. Alright, whatever. Let's just start with... I guess we'll start with... I don't know, Yvonne could be the toughest. Let's start with Ruby, and we'll work our way down. We'll see how it goes.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please be seated.
Alright, jury member smirking already. Alright, so do we want to talk about the art theft, the gun, or Zach? Oh, right, the gun. So this is kind of what we fucked up with. The gun is registered to Zachary Barnes' cousin. But I think she did tell us that she saw the gun... Or was it Simon? Was it Simon who saw the gun? It was in the drawer, but I think James might have been tied to it. We want to tie James to the gun. I can't remember how we would... Who told us what, though, since it's been a couple days. But anyway, let's start with the gun. Why not? Did Tobin have a gun?
Did you ever know the defendant to keep a gun in his possession?
No.
Miss Garcia, you told me in an earlier interview that you'd seen a gun in Tobin's work cabinet in your loft apartment.
Yes, but when I went back and took a look, I saw I was mistaken. It was a pair of pliers.
Ah.
You mistook a pair of pliers for a gun?
I guess so.
Wow. So basically what this tells us is, since we didn't end the Ruby interview correctly, she's now going against us. So the next time she's now lying under oath. We're gonna have to get Ruby to be on our side at the end of the interview. We need to turn her against Tobin so she testifies against him. Let's see this preview.
So you never saw a gun in the residence?
We're kind of already screwed with this. I guess we can't do any more harm with us on the gun with her.
No.
Or knew about one?
No.
Or heard the defendant?
I told you, no.
Here's how it's gonna go down. I didn't see any gun. Alright, let's move on to the... I don't know. This is gonna go very poorly, by the way.
Where were you on the night the defendant's paintings were stolen from the Barnes gallery?
I guess we might as well... We'll just use this as an experimental run, just to see.
I came home from school about 6. Jimmy seemed a little nervous.
Did the defendant leave the loft after dinner?
No. He went into the studio, and we ended up in bed at about 11.
Do you recall the defendant leaving the bedroom at any point during the night?
Yes.
At what time?
At about 3 o'clock in the morning. I woke up. Jimmy was coming in the bedroom door, and he had street clothes on. He had one of those wool, like, navy caps on.
Alright, I'm just gonna make a note for next time. Get Ruby to identify gun in Tobin's closet.
The fact is, he was downstairs stealing his own paintings, correct?
I don't know if she's gonna back us up on that.
Did the defendant explain to you what he was doing, wandering
let's do
around, fully dressed in the middle of the night?
Yeah, let's ask her that one.
He said he heard a noise downstairs and went to investigate.
Did he tell you what he found?
He said he didn't find anything.
No? When did you come to learn the paintings were stolen?
The next morning, Jimmy left the loft early, on an errand or something. Zach came by all upset. Said someone had broken into the gallery and Jimmy's paintings were gone. Now that I think about it, that's really when the trouble between Zach and Jimmy started.
Okay, more of Zach's story?
What else did Zachary say?
Well, first I told him what had happened the night before. How Jimmy had heard a noise and went downstairs to investigate. Well, I thought that the thief had hung out and hid until Jimmy left.
Did Zach respond?
Zach was suspicious. He goes to me, "What a stunt. Jimmy will never get away with this."
Alright, I mean, we probably didn't get as much information as we needed there, but definitely went a lot better than the gun did. At least there's a reason. I mean, well, we didn't prove it, but at least we placed them 2 different occasions. He had opportunity. He left and went down to the area where the paintings were stolen the night that they were stolen. So that's something. All right. Slept with Zach. Read Zach's letter. Let's get preview on these.
Ms. Garcia, did you have an affair with the late Zachary Barnes? Would the bailiff please give the witness evidence labeled Peoples 23, which was obtained from the computer of the late Zachary Barnes?
Okay, so I'd rather ask her straight out, and then if she denies it, we can come back with the letter. Let's ask if you slept with banged Barnes. Stupt Barnes.
Ms. Garcia, did you have an affair with the late Zachary Barnes?
No, we never had an affair.
Rephrase the question.
Perhaps affair is too vague a word. Did you ever have sex with Mr. Barnes?
Sexual relations?
Yes, but it was just a one-night stand.
Okay. What's Tobin made threats?
Upon learning of the affair, did the defendant make threats against Zach?
Well, we just said it was not a fair. All right, let's ask her to read the letter so the jury knows. Present some evidence here.
Would the bailiff please give the witness evidence labeled Peoples 23, which was obtained from the computer of the late Zachary Barnes? Ms. Garcia, please read the beginning of the letter.
Out loud.
Out loud.
Dear Ruby Red, I want to talk to you about what happened between us the other night. The feelings are so strong, I can't think of anything else.
Aha.
Ms. Garcia, did you ever get to read this letter before? Did the defendant threaten the deceased because of the letter?
Oh yeah, did you read this before? And she'll say no. Tobin took it from her. That's good.
Ms. Garcia, did you ever get to read this letter before?
No?
Please tell the jury why.
I took a look at it and decided it was a piece of garbage. It's like Jimmy said. Zach only wrote it to make him jealous. Zachary would do anything to get at Jimmy.
Now she's lying because she told us earlier that Tobin stole it from her. Let's have her keep reading.
Please continue reading the letter.
Ruby, I don't know what to believe anymore, but I've decided the least I can do is tell the truth. Yeah, right.
That will be enough, Ms. Garcia. No more questions, Your Honor.
What?
Defense, do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Garcia,
Cross-examination.
this work cabinet in which you mistook a pair of pliers for a gun, was it well lit?
No, actually, it's more like a closet than a cabinet, and towards the back, it's dark.
So it would be easy to mistake one object for another.
Sure.
Yeah.
No more questions, Your Honor.
That was it? Okay. So we know that's definitely our weak spot.
Well, that's all for today.
What?
The witness may step down.
So it's 1 witness per day, okay. Yeah, so that obviously did not go very well. But at least we kind of got her on the banging.
The chapter today, Laura, is called Mixed Allegiances. Put yourself in the position, if you will, for a moment of a woman who has loved her boyfriend but may have been abused by him. What's she going to say on the stand? And how is an attorney going to get her to testify against him?
Sort of a darned if you don't and darned if you do situation.
That's right. It's easy to drive her further into the hands of the accused, which is precisely what the prosecution...
I give women beauty and love. And that's the thing they really want. Today, when everything's so ugly and we've got nothing but pornography and violence, women have been neglected. You wouldn't think so, because they're really...
And you know what? My back pain is gone.
Laserdisc players on sale.
Pills. There is an alternative to all the medication. Call a doctor at your chiropractic...
Was that really necessary?
Does the prosecution wish to call another witness?
Naturally. All right, let's go with Simon, try to get this art situation a little bit strengthened.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right. So I just wanted to give out witness 2, whatever. All right. Yeah, let's start with the art theft.
Mr. Lee, did you stop by the Barnes Gallery on February 25th, the night the defendant's paintings were stolen?
Yes, and I saw Tobin.
You saw James Tobin in the gallery? What time was this?
About 3 a.m. I walk in and there's Tobin standing in the middle of the gallery. He's got a razor knife in his hand and some of his paintings been cut out of the frames. At first I thought he was making some kind of new art.
What was your second thought?
That he was ripping the place off. But I couldn't figure out what he was doing stealing his own paintings.
Did he say anything to you?
Yeah, told me to keep it quiet. Said he could do whatever he wanted with his own paintings.
Did you later discuss the theft with him?
No.
Yeah, so that did go well. Maybe we should have interviewed him first, then Ruby, to kind of say, like, dude, yeah, I don't know. He was attempted, bro.
Mr. Lee, aren't you leaving something out of this story? What happened next?
Yeah, let's just how it happened next.
Well, I left the gallery. My friends were waiting in a car out front.
Where did you go?
To Bosco's out on Van Ness. We were hungry. Then I went home.
Did James Tobin ever offer you money for your silence?
No.
Did you ever talk to anybody about what you had seen?
No. Like I said, it wasn't any of my business.
Okay. I can't remember whether we got any good information from him about the gun.
Did anyone at any time keep a gun on the premises of the Barnes Gallery?
He's going to say yes, but it was in the drawer of the guy, so that's not going to really help us out. But at least we'll just know. I mean, we're not going to do very well with this. But...
Not that I know of.
Oh.
I'd like to remind the witness that this is a court of law. He should not be casual with the truth.
Objection.
Sustained.
Like I told Inspector Looper, and like I told you, I was only an employee. If any of them, Zach or Ruby or James, any of them kept a gun there, they didn't tell me about it.
This is not what you told me before, Mr. Lee.
Well, maybe you didn't understand. I never saw a gun in the gallery.
Yeah, so I don't know why these guys are turning on us now. I guess we have to do a better job with... something. We're gonna have to end. The pre-trial interviews are a huge deal. I mean, then you can't really do much at the trial if you don't find out the right information and have them on your side, etc.
Did you ever hear the defendant mention the affair between Zachary Barnes and Ruby Garcia?
Yeah, sort of.
When did he mention it?
About a week before the murder.
Where was this?
Well, they were in their apartment upstairs from the gallery.
And you were...
Down in the gallery.
And what did the defendant say?
I don't know. He was just yelling at Ruby about her and Zach in the letter. I couldn't hear the exact words.
I'd like to establish the order of events, Mr. Lee. First, did you actually see this letter? Did you hear the defendant threaten Zachary Barnes, per se?
I don't remember with her interview whether it did it either. Yes, I think it is Nico. We're just gonna have to replay the game a few times to get all the right evidence and information, and then the right line of questioning. I don't remember. The problem is we had all these interviews 2 days ago, so I don't remember all the details. So yeah, it'll probably, this run will go short. We'll just experimenting, see how the game works this first run through, and then we'll try to do a better job on the subsequent runs.
I'd like to establish the order of events, Mr. Lee. First, did you actually see this letter?
Yeah. Zach gave it to me to give to Ruby at the loft.
Was the defendant home?
Well, he was coming up to the loft and I passed him on the stairs on my way down after I delivered the letter.
What happened next?
Tobin busted through the bathroom door. He caught Ruby reading the letter and he grabbed it from her and started pushing her around.
There we go.
And she was screaming.
Objection. Hearsay. How could he know this? The witnesses testified he was not in the room.
I could hear her. Besides, Ruby told me.
Your Honor.
The witness will confine himself to answering questions.
She asked a question.
Questions from the examining attorney.
Oh.
He will not be a wise guy in my court.
What? Wise guy. So I think the lesson here is also we may want to interview Zach before Ruby.
So what happened after the argument? Did you ever tell the defendant about this love letter?
That's not really going to help us. What happened next?
So what happened after the argument?
I don't know. I left the building.
You didn't see the defendant right after the fight?
No.
Mr. Lee, try to remember.
Objection. Witness has already...
Sustained.
I didn't go well.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Lee, did you receive money in the amount of $1,500 on or about March 3rd of last year?
I guess.
Where did you get this money?
It was a bonus from work.
Bank records show it as a cash deposit. Did you always get your bonuses in cash?
I don't know.
In fact, Simon, didn't Zachary Barnes bribe you not to reveal that he stole the paintings? Wasn't it a payoff?
Objection, Your Honor. Pure speculation.
Sustained.
Mr. Lee, you told us James Tobin broke down a bathroom door. Can you tell us why he did it?
Because he was mad about the love letter and he was...
Isn't this a little far-fetched? How could he have known about the letter if it was in the bathroom with Ms. Garcia? Or did my client just go around breaking down doors?
So we got to tell him about the letter
Already knew
first.
about the letter.
Oh, and why didn't you tell us this before?
'Cause?
'Cause? This is a trial here, Mr. Lee.
Objection, Your Honor. Counsel is belittling
Miss
the witness.
Charleston, please restrain these natural tendencies of yours.
You made up this whole story, didn't you?
Tobin knew about the letter because I told him.
This is a real stretch. You were close to Ruby, right?
Yeah.
And now you're saying that you went behind her back and essentially ratted on her? Why are you admitting that now?
Ratted? You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because I don't care anymore.
What do you mean,
I got to be friends with a guy I thought was cool, and now he's in jail.
Objection.
Someone else? Zach is dead.
Your Honor.
My job is gone. Now Ruby will find out I was the son of a bitch who told Tobin about the letter and got her beat up. So I'm an asshole. Is that what you all want to hear?
Yes.
Why? Haven't you ever done anything you're ashamed of? What do you want from me?
I want the
What the hell do you
truth.
want from me?
You can't handle the truth.
I'm done with the witness.
That actually seemed like it kind of went reasonably
Well,
well.
that's all for today. Court is adjourned.
In a Channel 2 exclusive, we have learned that a key witness in the Tobin murder trial was arrested on a felony. Will this hurt the prosecution's case?
Well, Laura, in an exclusive investigation, we have learned that Simon Alphonsus Lee, who was called to testify today, was charged with auto theft in Florida.
Will he be extradited?
No, the charge was dropped from his record in '89 and expunged from his record when he was 18.
So how did it go today?
It was a day of mixed fortunes for the prosecution. Granger scored a temporary victory by getting Mr. Lee to admit in a dramatic outburst, using language we cannot repeat here, that he saw Mr. Tobin cutting his own paintings out of their frames.
Yes.
However, the defense deflated Mr. Lee's testimony by pointing out that Lee may have accepted a bribe from Zachary Barnes.
So it took everyone by surprise?
It certainly came as a rude shock to the prosecution. Prosecutor Granger just seemed out of his depths today.
How about the murder charge?
It was odd, Laura. Everyone expected this witness to have important testimony, but the prosecution failed completely today regarding this much more serious charge.
Thank you, Dr. Fleece. We'll see you once again tomorrow. Coming up, the Assembly Republicans are proposing that all welfare mothers be required to serve as prison guards. Democrats have agreed to support the idea as long as child care is provided. The full story when we come back.
Yeah, by what you mean, it's not going well? Yes. Hey, Mediocrities.
Good morning. Will the prosecution please call another witness?
Yes, our final witness, Yvonne.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please be seated.
All right, she kind of ended up totally bitchy at us, so I don't think this is going to get far, but she's strongest with the crime scene. I guess we'll start with the art theft, but...
Did you witness an argument between your husband and the defendant Tuesday before the murder?
Yes. I walked into the gallery and Tobin was yelling at my husband. There was a wooden chair broken between them.
What did James Tobin say to your husband?
He was yelling, "If you go public with this insurance fraud, it'll be the end of the gallery." Zach responded, "The gallery will survive." And Tobin moved forward and pointed his finger in his face and yelled, "The gallery may survive, but you won't."
And then?
I stepped between them. I wanted to get Zach out of there.
Ah, okay, so that's good. Rolling the theft. Okay, she did tell us about the alarm. That's a good one. Let's see what these things are.
Ms. Barnes, wasn't your husband a co-beneficiary in the policy that covered the paintings? Was the gallery alarm system functioning at the time of the theft? Do you have any idea why the defendant might have threatened your husband's life?
They seem all decent. Links to the second and third one. Let's clarify the motive first. Well, actually, we do have the alarm system. That's a good piece of intel. We should press her on that.
Was the gallery alarm system functioning at the time of the theft?
No, it had been turned off.
At whose direction?
James Tobin's.
Did the defendant give you a reason?
Yes. He said it had been going off sporadically without warning. He said we should turn it off until we could get it fixed.
Was it ever checked out?
Oh yes, immediately after the theft I called. The repair woman said she had worked on it and couldn't get it to malfunction once. I still have her paperwork.
Ah, okay, so that's good. All right, let's clarify the motive now.
Do you have any idea why the defendant might have threatened your husband's life?
Objection, speculative and conclusory.
Question withdrawn.
Okay,
Ms. Barnes, did you and your husband ever discuss the argument you just described?
Yes, that evening when we returned home.
What, if anything, did your husband say about the theft of the paintings?
He said that Tobin himself had arranged for the paintings to be stolen so he could collect on the insurance.
Did your husband say he was going to the authorities with this information?
Yes.
Did he ever tell you if he made his intentions clear to the defendant?
Yes. He said that's what started the argument.
According to the insurance policy, what was the dollar amount to be paid to the defendant if the paintings were damaged or stolen?
I'm not sure, about $200,000.
When your late husband threatened to expose the fraud, did he tell you how Tobin responded?
Yes, Tobin accused Zach of trying to destroy his career.
Ms. Barnes, do you feel that in order to protect his career, Tobin would kill his partner?
Objection!
Yes, I do. He would.
Objection sustained. Mr. Granger, do not make a fool of me.
Oh, I already have, Judge. You did you did it yourself. Has he overruled any objections? He keeps on sustaining them. All right, let's do the... we're weakest on the gun. Let's do the crime scene now.
On the morning of March 13th at approximately 9 a.m., you and Ms. Garcia left the gallery to go to a meeting, is that correct?
Yes.
And the two of you returned early because the meeting was canceled?
Postponed, correct.
And Ms. Garcia dropped you off and went to park the car?
Yes, I was about a block away in the alley behind the gallery.
Please describe for the jury what you saw at that point.
I saw James Tobin outside the back door of the gallery jimmying it with a crowbar. He saw me coming, so he went back in.
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
Could you see what he was wearing?
Yes, he was wearing a black t-shirt with the gallery logo on back.
Shirt problem? Oh, right.
Ms. Barnes, how do you account for the discrepancy in the color of the shirt? What happened next?
I guess we'll do the shirt problem and then follow up.
Ms. Barnes, how do you account for the discrepancy in the color of the shirt?
Well, that's kind of a speculative answer.
Discrepancy?
You've said the defendant was wearing a black t-shirt, but the crime scene photos show him in a dress shirt.
I know what I saw.
Okay.
Oh, so we're kind of challenging her. All right, so that's not really a good one. All right, let's follow up on the story.
What happened next?
I heard a shot from inside as I came to the door, so I unlocked it and went inside.
What did you see there?
My husband's body lying crumpled on the ground. Tobin lying nearby holding his leg and moaning.
And what was the physical state of the gallery?
The tabletop had been broken. There were shards of glass everywhere. Some of them lying in the pool of my husband's blood. and I remember a cash box lying upside down on the floor.
What did you do?
I tried to help my husband, then called 911.
Do we really want to explain the break-in? Or, we asked her to explain it? How does it go?
Ms. Barnes, what was the defendant doing in front of the door?
Faking a break-in. Clearly, he was trying to make it look as though...
Objection, speculative.
Sustained.
You told me that the defendant had a plan to fake a break-in. How'd you come to that conclusion?
Come on, Granger. Objection.
Mr. Granger, perhaps you should pursue a different line of questioning or work.
Oh! That was a cheap shot. But probably... Yeah, I did question that even before selecting it. Didn't seem like a great way. Alright, this is probably not going to know anywhere, but we'll do it anyway.
Miss Barnes, did you have knowledge of any firearms kept on the premises of the Barnes Gallery?
Because it ties the gun to his cousin, which
No.
Did you and your husband ever discuss obtaining a gun for protection?
No. We were both opposed to firearms on general principle.
She's kind of lying here. I don't really want to pressure her because it's just going to expose that it was Zach's gun, which doesn't really help us. But anyway, we'll do it.
Did you ever know about or see a gun anywhere?
Only once.
When was that?
On the day my husband was murdered. It was lying by his side.
Oh, she lied. She saw it in the desk.
No more questions, Your Honor.
Defense, do you have any questions for this witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Barnes, wasn't this notion that James Tobin somehow stole his own paintings first suggested to you by your husband?
Zach and I discussed it, yes.
Insurance records show that he would have received $200,000. Was he involved in stealing the paintings?
No.
Well, if he wasn't involved, then how did he know James Tobin was?
I'm sure Zachary had nothing to do with it.
That is opinion. This is fact. Ms. Barnes, you have as much real evidence that my client stole the paintings as you have that Zachary Barnes stole them.
Objection, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Sustains every objection.
Ms. Barnes, are you aware that the gun used to kill your husband was registered to his cousin, Darrell Barnes?
Yes.
Did James Tobin have access to Darrell's house?
Not that I know of.
Did Zach?
We have to prove it was in the drawer.
Yes, but that doesn't mean
Thank you, that's all that I asked.
Look at that guy. Like,
Miss Barnes, you now say that James Tobin had a crowbar outside the gallery. Yet in your statement to Inspector Looper, you said he was carrying a stick. Do you know the difference?
The day of the murder, I was shaken up. It was only later that I was able to remember more clearly.
You also claim that James Tobin was wearing a black t-shirt on the morning of the alleged crime, correct?
Yes.
May I present People's Evidence number 5? This is the shirt he was wearing that morning. Perhaps you would like to reconsider your statement that you saw him outside the gallery at all.
No, I wouldn't.
Perhaps you would like to reconsider all of your testimony.
Objection, we don't have to put up with this badgering.
No more questions, Your Honor. I'm done with the witness.
Well, that's all for today. Court is adjourned until tomorrow. And, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, let me once again admonish you not to discuss this case with anyone, not even your family. You know, if something leaks out to the...
It's going to be closing statements. Yeah, this went pretty poorly. Maybe we'll get the art theft, but probably not, because there was that doubt there about whether Zach could get a share of the profits. So we probably won't get any convictions.
It's been another long day in court at the Tobin murder trial, and nobody felt that more than the defendant, James Tobin. Yvonne Barnes, the widow of victim Zachary Barnes, testified that Tobin killed her husband as a cover-up.
How effective a witness was she?
Mixed, I think.
No, the jury's still out.
No, they haven't gone out yet. Mrs. Barnes, though, provided the prosecution with a motive today that Tobin committed the murder to prevent his partner from exposing an art theft scam. But something about the witness's manner left the courtroom feeling that perhaps she was less than totally forthcoming.
Really?
Also, Ms. Barnes recounted a very confusing story about the shirt the defendant was wearing. I gotta admit, I got completely lost on this one, and I'm sure the jury did too. I also did a quick poll of 10 or so other reporters covering the trial, and several admitted dozing off during this testimony.
Oh, do your jobs, guys.
Thank you, Frank. Joining me live in the Channel 2 studio now is our legal expert, Professor of Law, Dr. Richard Fleece.
Good evening, Laura. It's always a pleasure. Yvonne Barnes is one of the pivotal figures in this case, but as the mayor's press secretary, she seems to be more used to fending off questions about him than about herself.
Sort of spin doctor in the spotlight. Well, how'd she do?
Well, her most compelling testimony was about the gun.
Really? Why?
Because a gun is more than a weapon. It's a symbol. It's a very powerful symbol. Unfortunately, our witness had very little to say about that symbol. It seems she had been alienated from the proceedings even before she began testifying.
Yep, that's true.
Thanks, Dick.
Then why was it the most
How nutritious
compelling?
are tropical fish? Henry Norton, our cooking expert, will tell us when we come back.
I think it's a real reporter, actually. She plays herself, apparently, in media articles.
Will the prosecution please call another witness?
Your Honor, the people rest.
Very well. Will the defense please call its first witness?
The defense would like to call Dr. Jackson Hayes.
Oh.
Dr. Hayes, you are a forensic pathologist?
I was chief medical examiner for the city of Santa Barbara for 17 years, and I now consult around the country.
You've seen the police photographs showing bruises on the arms of the defendant. In your opinion, how old were these bruises?
Well, the severe discoloration of the skin and the blackened capillaries both indicate injury within 24 hours of the time the photo was taken.
Are these bruises consistent with evidence of a struggle?
Oh, entirely consistent.
Prosecution, do you wish to cross-examine?
Yeah, I didn't even know that there were bruises on his arms. Let's see.
Could the bruises on the defendant's arm be a result of something other than a struggle?
Yeah, it could have been self-inflicted.
When you examined the defendant, did you see any evidence of bruises on his legs?
Well, he was shot. Let's see if there are other causes we can put out there. Hey, Nicholas.
Could the bruises on the defendant's arm be a result of something other than a struggle?
I can only give you a time frame. Where and how, I can't answer.
So it's possible the defendant may have been injured in some other way.
Anything is possible. It's beyond the purview of my analysis.
Thank you.
Indeed it is.
I'm done with this witness.
The witness may step down. Thank you. Does the defense wish to call another witness?
The defense rests, Your Honor.
Yeah, that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have heard all the evidence. And it's time now for me to give you the instructions on the law, after which you will hear the closing arguments. And remember, the closing arguments are what is...
There has been an important development in the Tobin trial. We go live to City Hall.
Just a few moments ago, the jury finally returned. They are looking very haggard after 9 days of deliberation.
Oh.
Word is they have reached a unanimous decision. The judge is now querying the foreperson, who will then hand over the verdict to the clerk of the court.
9 days means at least they thought about it. We didn't, fail completely. But yeah, we're not gonna... He's gonna be acquitted.
Will the defendant please rise? Clerk, read the verdict.
On the charge of grand theft, the jury finds the defendant not guilty. On the charge of murder, the jury finds the defendant not guilty.
Predictable.
Mr. Tobin, you're a free man. Court is adjourned.
I'm sure you gave it all you had.
No, I didn't.
Ever since I first met you, I was afraid Tobin would get off. My husband is dead, and you let his killer go free.
Yeah, because you fucked us, Yvonne. You shouldn't have been such a bitch to us when we were interviewing you. Alright.
He's shocked. He's shocked.
And a
across the country. It's that knowledge, being in touch with people.
The very beginning, Granger was very tight-lipped about how it was going to go. He wouldn't even comment to me off the record.
Hey, that was off the record.
Disdain sure hasn't helped him with the press.
Well, there's one bit of good news, Frank.
What's that, Laura?
No more chicken salad sandwiches for you.
You got that right. Also, no more French fries, no more onion rings, no more ring dings, no more cherry pies, no more apple pies.
We get the picture. Thank you, Frank Somerville, for all that delving work. And now a few words from our own Dr. Fleece. Tell us, Dick, about what were some of the turning points which helped impact the outcome of this sensational trial?
For one, the prosecutor got off on the wrong foot by making claims in his opening which he never went on to substantiate. This is a classic mistake, painting yourself into a testimonial corner.
Then things went downhill from there?
That's right, Laura, right down the old commode.
More specifically?
Well, we talked to a disgusted jury member who said there would have been a lot stronger conviction if the people had demonstrated a clear link between Tobin and the murder weapon.
Thank you, Dr. Fleece, for your professional insights. Pet owners, stay tuned for a pet tip from No Flea, the flea care experts, available wherever pet products are sold.
I think we want to do Yvonne, then Zach, then, or Simon, rather. Yvonne, then Simon, then Ruby. So what we do is we get our most friendly witness, or she should be the most friendly. So she says, like, here's the evidence I saw. Simon can help us with the art theft and hopefully the gun. And then Ruby won't be able to deny, because we did make good progress with the Ruby interview, but she won't be able to deny it as much if everyone's got on the record refuting her. So I'm going to take a very quick break, just a bio break. We'll be able to go like 45 more minutes or so. So hopefully we should get through one more run. We're going to load, I think we did get a pre-witnesses. So this is after we examine the evidence and the initial interview, the initial detective interrogations. So we'll then look to save scum the interviews themselves, the pre-trial ones. So hopefully that should go better. So anyway, we'll try to save scum and see if that's possible. I don't know. We should be able to do it. Anyway, I will be right back.
Yes, Mother's new improved Whizzle butter containing 10% more or less is absolutely indistinguishable from a dead crab. Remember, buy Whizzle butter and go to... And now for something completely different.
Welcome to Spot the Loony, where once again we invite you to come with us all over the world to meet all kinds of people in all kinds of places and ask you to spot the loony. Our panel this evening... Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. And we'll be inviting them to spot the loony. Yes, quite right. A viewer from Preston there who's pointed out correctly that the entire panel are loonies. And remember, you have to spot the loony. Well done, player. And now, here is your clue. To find the game, you'll have to spot the loony. I hate you. You make me want to puke my guts out. Spot the loony. Yes, another loony spotted. Good show. Please stand by for your clue. There are 4 essential clues embedded in each maze. Your job is to find them. Of course, you'll have to find the maze as well. Binge dial. Sorry.
I didn't want to be a barber anyway. I wanted to be a lumberjack.
Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries.
The giant redwood, the larch, the fir, the mighty Scots pine, the smell of fresh-cut timber, the crash of mighty trees. With my best girlie by my side, we'd sing, sing, sing. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. I sleep all night, I work all day. He's a lumberjack and he's okay. Because he sleeps all night and he works all day. I cut down trees, I eat my lunch.
All right. How much do we have? How much longer do we have? You know what? There's only 12 minutes left on the. Why don't we open up buys now? This is a good break. Yeah, that was a complete waste of time. That's on the raffle queue. So yeah, so if anyone wants to make any buys now, and then we'll try. I don't know if we're probably not going to have time to go through the full second case, but give it a shot. See how far we can get. Alright, Duriel, 3 for King's Quest 4, Perils of Rosella, eats into the Poisonous Larry lead. And Servo, 1 for Bloodnet. 143, 9 Snake lead over Chin. And Miria just eats right one into Chin there. Gets that slot back. Hey, Miria. Rack 5, 3 for Code. Look at this. Code name Iceman. Been a while since we saw some buys there for that. We've said of Mario's Time Machine, Alien Incident, Dragon Sphere, up to V22. Ambersine, 3 for the Pawn. That was the last raffle pick from Ambersine after we reached Shanara. Here's ahead of FPD, Homicide, Terror Tracks, and Larry 5. R33. Matt, his third and final one of the day for Larry 3. And Mantis, 3 more for Iceman. Zed of Batman, Veil of Darkness, and Last Half of Darkness. To V19, into the top 20. And that makes Codename Iceman eligible for the Legacy pick. It'll slot in there at 16th. 16th priority there. I did, yes. The case of the missing floppies, indeed. Hey, how's it going, Inde? Okay, so Let's go back to pre-witness interviews. Resume our timer. Okay, oh, this is still the tapes? I think we saw the tapes, right? Yeah, we must have. All right, witnesses. So I think let's start with Yvonne first. She should be the friendliest and therefore easiest since she's on our side. So we'll try to get, the idea here is we want to have a very smooth interview, find out as much information as we can. Hey, Elkman. So that we can obviously get the right questions unlocked for the trial.
Granger here.
So weird calling you on your cell phone. I have no picture of where you are.
I'm sitting at my desk at home.
Oh, yeah, sure you are. Listen, I just got some bad news. Turns out the gun used in the Barnes murder was registered to the deceased cousin, Darryl Barnes.
You're kidding.
Wish I was. And I can't find a way to trace it to Tobin. Oh, I gotta go. Bye.
So yeah, the gun is definitely an issue. We definitely have to. The only bit progress we made the last time was that Ruby may have seen it in Tobin's closet. That was it.
Hello.
You were on your way to see Ms. Barnes, right? I just wanted to remind you that we found Jimmy marks on the back alley door right after the crime.
Did you photograph the marks?
Are you crazy? I just took the whole jam.
What's a jam?
You know, the door frame.
You took it?
The whole damn jam.
No kidding.
So long.
The whole damn jam. It was on the door frame. Definitely the 90s.
How do you do? I'm Yvonne Barnes. Please have a seat.
Oh, I will.
Mr. Granger, I trust your office received my letter.
Yes.
You know the theft that took place at Barnes Gallery last February. I have no doubt it led to my husband's murder.
Yeah, you're right. I'm actually gonna kill the metric now. Not so helpful. Okay. Let's start with the gun if we can. Well, we want things to go as smoothly as possible, right? What's gonna be the easiest one? I guess we'll start with the art theft and we'll... Yeah, we didn't come to any sort of stuff, I don't think. Convictions? Not really, because the grand theft one, based on our winning condition, the grand theft one essentially doesn't matter. All we're interested in is murder in the first degree, really. The art theft is just more like a bonus.
Ms. Barnes, let's talk about what reasons Tobin may have had to kill your husband.
To me, James' motives were quite clear. He was covering the insurance fraud Zachary had found out about. In my opinion, the sordid rumors in the press about an affair are not really relevant, and I'd just as soon not talk about that any further. Can we start with my letter?
Okay.
Your letter was very helpful, Miss Barnes. Let's explore some of the details.
Thank you.
Prosecutor. Hey, Snarky. Yeah, we're a prosecutor. So we need to get murder in the first degree conviction. The alarm system seemed to have gone well before.
Didn't the gallery have a sophisticated alarm system?
Oh, yes, but supposedly there'd been a lot of false alarms.
Why didn't you have it fixed?
Zachary said money was tight right now.
But I thought the gallery was a huge success.
It was. But very few of Tobin's paintings sold at the last show, and that created a cash flow problem.
Was the alarm on the night of the theft?
No. Tobin turned it off. He said he was sick of it going off. After the robbery, Zach and I were both suspicious.
Is there anything else about the theft that you'd like to add?
What about the death threat?
You mentioned in your letter that Tobin threatened your husband's life.
Oh yes, one evening about a week before the murder. Zachary and I were supposed to go to dinner at Zuni, so I drove by the gallery to pick him up. He and Tobin were having a very loud discussion.
About what?
Well, I only heard the end. Tobin was yelling at Zach. He said, "If you go public with the insurance thing, that'll be the end of this gallery." And Zachary responded very calmly. He hardly ever raised his voice. He said, "The gallery will survive." And Tobin yelled back, "Not if you don't."
You heard him clearly?
Oh, yes. He was threatening my husband's life.
Okay, more information.
Is there anything else about the theft that you'd like to add?
No, nothing at all.
I think the art theft went reasonably well. I think the crime scene and the gun is where we run into the issues. Gotta be careful with this.
You're aware, I assume, that James Tobin admitted to firing the gun that killed your husband.
Yes, I read the papers.
He claims it was self-defense and that your late husband was plotting to kill him.
That's completely odious. The very thought of him... Look, Tobin arranged that meeting with Zach. He planned to kill my husband and then use the racetrack as an alibi. Things fell apart when I got back early.
When you got back?
Ms. Barnes, do you have any proof that Tobin set up the meeting?
Oh, I think she got pissed at that the last time we asked that. I think.
What happened when you returned?
Let's see, returned.
Ruby had just dropped me off when I saw Tobin in the alley outside the gallery doing something by the door. He'd already killed Zachary by then.
Remember any details?
Distinctly. He was carrying a yellow-like bag or bundle and a big club. He was wearing a black t-shirt with the gallery logo.
What happened next in the street?
After he spotted me, he went inside, panicked, and shot himself. That was the shot I heard.
Okay. Yeah, here's the question about the club. We have to cut the clarification about the club stick crowbar situation.
If he had a gun, why on earth would Tobin need a club? Are you sure it was a club?
See, this is kind of aggressive, like, oh, why would he need it? I don't want to put her on the defensive, so let's ask if it was something else.
Are you sure it was a club?
No, I was some distance away.
Did you know there were fresh crowbar marks found in the door jamb?
He was faking a break-in. That was a crowbar he had.
You're right, you should be writing murder mysteries.
This isn't a murder mystery. You know, that's why the place was in such disarray.
But Tobin is going to claim the mess was all a result of the brawl he and Zach had.
Oh, he's lying. A fight between them could account for the broken table and the mess, but why was the cash box lying out?
Okay, so I think that's good. So, I'm just going to take a note here about, make sure to say, was it something else, is the question we want to be asking about the club. All right.
Is there anything else you haven't told me about that morning? I'm having trouble with your description of Tobin's shirt.
Yeah, that's the other thing we need clarification on, so let's ask about the shirt.
I don't understand. Are you suggesting I'm making this up?
No, not at all. You said you saw him in a black t-shirt that morning, but we know that he was arrested in a yellow dress shirt. Is there anything else you haven't told me about that morning?
No, yeah, we gotta follow up on the shirt problem, because that came back to bite us the last time.
You said you saw him in a black t-shirt that morning, but we know that he was arrested in a yellow dress shirt.
You're right. That's odd.
Remember it was splattered with blood?
I have a clear image of him standing there in that black shirt and carrying that bundle.
Yvonne, what color was the bundle?
Yellow. My God, Tobin changed shirts. He had to change because he got Zach's blood on the other shirt. He changed into one of the black t-shirts from the box.
You're right. Then he probably wrapped the gun in the yellow shirt and went outside.
Oh, he is such an evil, calculating man. After spotting me, he went back inside. As my husband lay there dying, he was figuring out that story he told me about this big fight they'd supposedly had. That's when he put the gun on the floor and changed into the yellow shirt. That son of a...
All right, it definitely went better than the first time we went through crime scene with her. Can we, let's save here, because this is good. What's her name? Yvonne. All right, now the gun. Art thefts might have gone a little bit better, but I don't think there were any... It didn't go poorly, and I'm not sure there were any opportunities for it to have gone better. We can try the art theft again to make sure we got it the exact way we wanted it. Good gun.
What can you tell me about Zachary's cousin, Daryl Barnes?
Mr. Granger, I have a question of my own first. Am I right to assume you have a pretty good case?
We had a very good case until I learned the murder weapon was registered to Daryl Barnes.
But there's a plethora of evidence.
Ms. Barnes, please give me some background on Daryl.
He's a nice guy, a city police officer.
Has Tobin ever met him?
I doubt it.
So Tobin's never been to Daryl's house?
No.
Alright, now here's where we gotta be careful. Let's see.
How do you think Tobin got the gun? Did Zachary ever go to his cousin's house?
Well, we don't want to lead her on the path to thinking that we think Zach's the murderer, so let's go with Tobin have gotten it. Although, how would she even know, really?
How do you think Tobin got the gun?
I'd like to help you, but I don't know how he got the gun. Is it really that important?
Believe me, it's important.
But why? He's admitted to pulling the trigger. We know he lied to the police. It's obvious he's guilty.
It's not that simple.
Ms. Barnes, you do understand that to get a conviction, we must tie the murder weapon to the defendant.
She might not react well to that, but she's not gonna. The Zach brought the gun is not. I think that's what fucked us the last time. So let's go importance.
Well, there's something I haven't told you.
Oh?
I borrowed the gun from Daryl and brought it here to the loft.
Oh.
A city police officer loaned you his gun? I must say, I have a hard...
It wasn't his service revolver. I took it without asking. He and his wife were on vacation, and I had a key.
So how did Tobin end up with it?
Zachary didn't want it in the house. He disliked guns, and he said we should take it to the gallery for safekeeping until he could return it to Daryl.
And?
Tobin must have stolen it from his office at the gallery.
So we're gonna have to substantiate that with the following interviews, probably. Hey, how's it going, Core? At least we did get information. We do have information now on how the gun ended up from Daryl into the gallery, so that's one thing. I don't want to suggest a better story. We can't plant that stuff.
Ms. Barnes, let me be blunt. Do you want to see your husband's murderer punished for this crime?
No, we should not be leading her into, like... We're trying to get evidence. We're not trying to create fake stories.
Ms. Barnes, are you sure this story is accurate?
She's probably not going to respond to either one, quite frankly, very well. So let's save here. I think we probably don't want to ask either one. We just want to end it here. But let's just do question is a better chance, but I don't think she'll like this. Let's see.
Yes.
It's very important.
I've given you everything about the gun you need. Mr. Granger, I'd like you to be aware of my situation.
I understand. Losing your husband and now having to go through this whole...
You can't begin to imagine how all this feels. You are aware I work as the mayor's press officer.
Yes.
Oh, this is good.
The mayor has told me that this whole thing reflects poorly on his administration. And I have to say, next to Zach, my career is the most important thing in my life. So, if you need the emotional, weepy widow in the courtroom, I will not be able to oblige. I intend to maintain complete control of myself at all times.
Well, thank you for your candor. Thank you for your time, Ms. Barnes.
You're welcome. I want nothing more than to see justice done.
I will do my best.
I hope it's good enough.
Me too. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right, so at least overall, I think it went quite well. Probably. There is one thing I do want to check up on there, double check. Let's save it there. But let's go back. I want to make sure that we got the art theft with her right. Let's do pre-witnesses. You think Bards did it? Mrs. Yvonne. We'll just skip through the FMV portions. I just want to make sure the art theft went perfectly. Okay, art theft.
Ms. Barnes, let's talk about what reasons Tobin may have had to kill your husband.
To me, James' motives were quite clear. He was covering the insurance fraud Zachary had found out about. In my opinion, the sordid rumors in the press about an affair are not really relevant, and I'd just as soon not talk about that any further. Can we start with my letter?
So I think the ask her other questions kind of goes to the crime scene, right?
I appreciate your help, Ms. Barnes, but if you will bear with me, there are some other questions I have to pursue.
Yeah, so let's follow up on the letter.
Your letter was very helpful, Ms. Barnes. Let's explore some of the details.
Thank you.
Maybe do like this. Yeah, whatever. All right, death threat or alarm? Let's just start with death threat.
You mentioned in your letter that Tobin threatened your husband's life.
Oh yes, one evening about a week before the murder. Zachary and I were supposed to go to dinner at Zuni, so I drove by the gallery to pick him up. He and Tobin were having a very loud discussion.
About what?
Well, I only heard the end. Tobin was yelling at Zach. He said, "If you go public with the insurance thing, that'll be the end of this gallery." And Zachary responded very calmly. He hardly ever raised his voice. He said, "The gallery will survive." And Tobin yelled back, "Not if you don't."
You heard him clearly?
Oh yes. He was threatening my husband's life.
What does the more information do?
Is there anything else about the theft that you'd like to add?
I think that moves past, which is not good. And I think the alarm system did go well. Let's just confirm more information goes to crime scene. But like it knocks out art theft line of questioning.
No, nothing at all.
Yeah, so that's not helpful. All right, so I think we did it. I think we did it properly the first time. That's fine. All right, we'll go back here. So I think the Yvonne went well. I think we should try Simon now. It's hard to mess up art theft with her. Colonel Mustard.
You've reached the desk of Sterling Granger. Please leave.
Our first name is Sterling?
One new message.
Hello, this is James Tobin. My lawyer told me not to call you, but I had to tell you. I know Simon Lee stole the paintings. I saw him outside the gallery in costume. He was dressed up like the back of a horse or something. A week later, he's driving a new Kawasaki. When I take him aside, he tells me that Zach put him up to it for the insurance.
Yeah, so this time we're gonna have to be careful. Alright, that's in the trial. This time we're gonna have to tie him to the gun and also the bribe from Tobin.
Thanks for waiting for me.
No problem.
I thought you quit this place to work at the gallery.
I did. But since the gallery folded, I had to come back.
No deliveries now?
No, things shut down at 7. I just want you to know that everyone thinks I'm on Tobin's side, but I'm not.
Why do they think that?
I don't know. I guess because I was his assistant and I had to do what he said.
Why?
Because he was my boss. I had to kiss his ass and make him think I was always on his side, which I wasn't.
Okay, so let's do a new save slot here for Simon. Yeah, I guess I don't know, we got an answering machine message. Well, we already had a Simon save? Alright, that must have been an old one, that's fine to replace it. I don't know whether it was it was probably cell phone. So it was probably, yeah, I think it was on his office because he even answered the voicemail message. Alright, so let's see how this goes. Art theft.
Simon, did you stop by the Barnes Gallery the night Tobin's paintings were stolen?
Why?
It's likely to come up in court.
Yeah, I stopped by. I was out late with some friends. I wanted to borrow a few bucks from Petty Cash. They let me do that.
Was there anyone else in the gallery?
No.
Alright, we know that's bullshit. So let's reveal Tobin's phone call, which should pressure him into saying that Tobin was there.
I just got a phone message from Tobin. He said you stole the paintings.
He says I took them? He's full of it.
Why did he say it?
How should I know?
Okay, I don't think we tried to pay for the bike.
Tobin said Zach gave you the money for the bike.
So you could say, hey, that's bullshit, or maybe not. Last time I remember we got him on the horse thing. Let's see where this goes. Because maybe he'll say, oh no, the money. Because remember that we had the problem with not identifying where the money came from? So let's see if he now flips on Tobin. If he says, no, Zach didn't pay for it.
bull.
That it was a payoff for stealing the paintings.
Oh, he's really out there. If I was getting paid, I'd want a hell of a lot more than a motorcycle. How deaf does he think I am?
So how did you pay for it?
You know, not everyone spends their money on Armani clothes.
Meaning what? What is this one?
Simon, I've been straight with you, but I get the feeling you're hiding something.
Let's go with ask what he wore.
Tobin said he ran into you at the gallery that night and that you were in a costume.
Yeah, I've been to a costume party, but I didn't see him at the gallery.
How did he know that if he didn't see you?
A lot of people saw me that night. It was a cool costume. Guess people were talking about it.
More information?
Simon, I've been straight with you, but I get the feeling you're hiding something.
Me? What would I be hiding?
I have no idea. But tell me, did you see or hear anything else regarding the theft?
No.
That's not the message Tobin left on his phone machine.
Well, Tobin's in jail. He'd try anything.
Alright, so that did not go well because we know we get him to admit that he saw Tobin there. That's what we want. So we definitely have to restore.
Simon, did you stop?
Alright, so I think the call went well.
I just got a phone.
Let's do what he wore first, not the bike.
Tobin said he ran into you at the gallery that night and that you were in a costume.
Yeah, I've been to a costume party, but I didn't see him at the gallery.
How did he know that if he didn't see you?
A lot of people saw me that night.
Yeah.
It was a cool costume. Guess people were talking about it.
Okay, maybe we should push him for more information now.
Simon, I've been straight with you, but I get the...
No, okay, it doesn't work out. Alright, so I don't think we want to reveal the Tobin call yet. I think I played this right the first time, which is you only use that when you catch him lying, so...
Simon, did you stop by the Barnes Gallery the night Tobin's paintings were stolen?
Why?
It's likely to come up in court.
Yeah, I stopped by. I was out late with some friends. I wanted to borrow a few bucks from Petty Cash. They let me do that.
Was there anyone else in the gallery?
No.
Alright, so let's do the motorcycle first then.
I noticed out front you have a Kawasaki.
Yeah, it's mine.
What size?
750.
How long you owned it?
Got it a couple days before Zach died.
How much?
$1,500.
Are you making payments or did you pay cash?
What are you asking for?
Just curious. Did you pay up front?
Yeah, I did.
So yeah, we lead off with the motorcycle. This is what we did before. I think we did wear.
Zach paid you to steal Tobin's paintings, didn't he?
No, we don't want that.
On the night of the theft, when you stopped by the gallery, what were you wearing?
A sweatshirt, like this, and shorts. I remember because it was cold out.
See, what we have to do on this line of questioning, we have to get him to admit that he was bribed by Tobin. That's what we eventually want. Okay, now we can say that Tobin said you were in the horse.
I just picked up a call off my message machine from James Tobin. Want to know what he told me?
Yeah, that's what we want. Think.
What?
He said he saw you in front of the gallery the night the paintings were stolen. You were dressed up in a horse's costume.
You're right, I forgot. I was the back half.
I could have guessed. He said you stole the paintings and Zach gave you the money for the Kawasaki.
Yeah? He's an asshole, bunch of friggin' lies. I was at the gallery, stopped by to get some money, but Tobin was the one stealing the paintings, not me.
He see you there?
Yeah, he saw me, put his arm around me, and asked if I'd do him a favor.
What favor?
He asked me to keep it quiet, to say nothing to nobody. I can't believe he tried to stick this crap on me.
Okay. Pay you off.
Simon, did James Tobin ever give you anything in return for your silence?
Look, I told you what I saw that night in the gallery. Isn't that enough?
No.
Well, that's all you're gonna get.
Okay, so we don't want to say to pay him off. So I think we had the right line. Just don't choose to pay him off, because that obviously was not productive. So we're going to have to get at that some other way, maybe with another line of questioning with the gun under the letter. So let's try this again. We can speed through this part of it now.
Simon, did you...
Okay, so motorcycle.
I noticed out...
Where?
On the night of the...
Tobin's call.
I just picked up...
Okay, don't do pay him off. I'll switch over to gun. See, we can always come back to that later. That's good. So maybe if we come back to it, we get more information or something. All right, did you see a gun?
Did you ever see a gun in the Barnes gallery?
I don't remember.
Simon, I'm not in the mood for games. Did you ever see a gun in the gallery?
I'm not playing games.
We'll see.
Yeah. Zach's office in the drawer. It had silver facing and black grips.
You didn't mention this to Inspector Looper?
No, I was pretty upset.
Okay. Delivered. Well, we know he didn't deliver the gun, so we don't want that. Probably reveal more.
I understand. But about the gun, is there anything else you can share with me? Being shook up is no excuse for lying. Did you ever actually see Zachary with a gun?
Yeah, it could be either. Let's do reveal more first.
I understand. But about the gun, is there anything else you can share with me?
No. I don't have anything else to share.
Oh, that didn't kill us, actually. Did Zach have the gun?
Being shook up is no excuse for lying. Did you ever actually see Zachary with a gun?
Yeah.
When?
Monday night, week before he died. He was standing at his desk and he unsnapped his briefcase and took a pistol out and slid it into his drawer.
What did you do?
I got out of there. I don't think he ever saw me.
Okay, did you... oh yeah, then we can say that Tobin knew where the gun was. That's probably good.
Who'd you tell about the gun? Thank you, Simon. I appreciate your help on this. Now, did you ever tell anybody about seeing that gun?
I can't remember whether he said anything to anyone else. Let's do a mini save here. He might not respond well to who did you tell, but let's try it.
Who'd you tell about the gun?
No one.
You didn't tell Tobin?
No.
If Zach brought the gun like you say, maybe Tobin's right, and we got the wrong man. Is that what you think?
Dollars!
No. I think Tobin can play just about anybody for a fool.
You too?
Sometimes.
Did Zach ever explain to you why he brought the gun to the office?
Rufus hit
No,
by
I
a
never
leg.
talked to Zach about it. Look, things were pretty tense around there.
Dollars, thanks very much for the 9 months.
Tobin said Zach was out to get him, and I believed it.
Much appreciated,
At least
Dollars.
I did then.
Okay, we kind of missed what he was saying. Let's go back. Kind of missed that. No subtitles, unfortunately. How's it going, Valors?
Who'd you tell about the gun?
No one.
You didn't tell Tobin?
No.
If Zach brought the gun like you say, maybe Tobin's right, and we got the wrong man. Is that what you think?
No. I think Tobin can play just about anybody for a fool.
You too?
Sometimes.
Did Zach ever explain to you why he brought the gun to the office?
No, I never talked to Zach about it. Look, things were pretty tense around there. I mean, Tobin said Zach was out to get him, and I believed it. At least I did then.
Okay, so it doesn't necessarily...
The way you describe it, you should have told your friend Tobin about the gun. I've had enough, Simon. You helped Tobin plan the murder, didn't you?
No, we know that's probably not true. All right, maybe he'll admit to if he gave it to told Tobin if we say that.
The way you describe it, you should have told your friend Tobin about the gun.
Why would I do that?
You say there's all this tension in the gallery. Then Zach comes, stashes a gun in his office, but you don't warn your friend Tobin? Who's going to believe that?
Look, I'm not stupid. The police say Tobin plugged Zach with that gun.
So?
Everyone knows I was Tobin's slave, that I'd do just about anything he wanted. I mean, if I go to court and testify that I told Tobin about the gun, they were going to think that I was in on it.
Were you?
See?
Not point exactly.
There's a good chance before this thing's over, Tobin will tell us the whole story. What'll you do then?
Yeah, I don't think this line of questioning... Well, it's still going, so maybe it's not so bad.
I don't know.
Okay, that didn't really work out too well. Alright, let's try instead. Go back. What if we do who else knew of the gun?
Thank you, Simon. I appreciate your help on this. Now, did you ever tell anybody about seeing that gun?
No, I didn't want any part of it.
Did you ever see or hear anything else regarding the gun you saw in Zach's possession that morning?
Nothing.
Okay, that's actually even worse. So, we definitely want, who did you tell?
Who'd you tell about the gun?
No one.
You didn't tell Tobin?
No.
If Zach brought the gun like you say, maybe Tobin's right, and we got the wrong man. Is that what you think?
Alright. I don't think suggest he was involved is gonna work at all, but at least we can rule it out now.
I've had enough, Simon. You helped Tobin plan the murder, didn't you?
You crazy?
If you don't tell me what you know,
I had nothing to do with it.
Well, we'll see.
Right. You can't even convict Tobin.
You don't think, huh?
No, I might be dumb in some ways, but Tobin's smart.
Well, I'm pretty smart, too.
Yeah? But he's an artist, and you're just a lawyer.
What do you say? Alright, yeah, that definitely did not work. I didn't think it would, but good to rule things out. Alright, so I think we had, who did you tell?
Who'd you tell about the gun?
You should have told
The
Tobin.
way you describe it, you should have told your...
Okay. And here's what we need to know. Is this the same? He was involved?
I've had enough, Simon.
Yeah.
You helped Tobin plan the murder, didn't you?
And the confess is what?
There's a good chance before this thing's over.
Okay, that zeroes it at 2. So none of these are particularly good, to be honest. So I think what we'll do is say,
who'd you
should have told Tobin.
The way you...
Yeah, the only other thing we didn't try, by the way, was suggest he was involved. At this stage. It's probably going to be the same, but let's confirm.
I've had enough, Simon. You helped Tobin plan the murder, didn't you?
You crazy?
If you don't tell me what you know...
I had nothing to do with it.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, it's the same.
Right. You can't even convict Tobin.
You don't think, huh?
No, I might be dumb in some ways, but Tobin's smart.
Well, I'm pretty smart, too.
Yeah? But he's an artist.
So maybe we
You're just a lawyer.
Don't choose either one and come back to it. Yeah. So let's try that one more time.
Who'd you tell?
Should have told Tobin.
The way you...
Okay, don't do confess, don't do anything here. So I'll come back to this. Hopefully, if we go back to art theft, is there a new one? No. 'Cause I think that was there before, right? Yeah.
Simon, did James Tobin ever give you anything in return for your silence?
No. Alright, let's go to letter.
Simon, do you know anything about a letter Zachary Barnes wrote to Ruby Garcia?
I think Ruby is better.
Were you and Ruby close?
Let's do letter. Let's start off with Ruby.
Yeah, we were good friends. I mean, everyone else in that group was older than me and her, and since Zach's death, we've been hanging out more together. We talked a lot about what happened.
Ever get involved with her?
I wish. But I think she only likes older guys.
Maybe she'll change her mind.
Okay, do you know about the letter?
Simon, do you know anything about a letter Zachary Barnes wrote to Ruby Garcia?
Yeah, I was the one who gave it to her.
You?
Ruby called me, said Zach had something for her, and could I pick it up on the way to work?
You know what was in the letter?
No.
So you gave it to her?
Yeah, she was really excited. She took it in the next room and started reading it. I got a little pissed.
Why?
I don't know. Guess I didn't want to be their little love messenger.
Matured. Alright,
It must have been difficult for you, caught between Ruby and Zachary and James. Why do you call yourself a love messenger? I thought you said you didn't know what was in the letter. Simon, you opened it, didn't you?
that kind of could be interesting. I don't think that's going to be accurate, but it could be interesting. Let's save here. Last time we did unfair, and it seemed to work out well, but let's just confirm that looked at the letter does not work. Well,
no.
You were jealous, right?
No. Zachary didn't even...
Yeah, you had a crush on Ruby, didn't you?
No, I opened it, and this is the truth, because James told me to start looking out for stuff.
Aha.
What do you mean?
Well, Zach had been acting kind of weird lately. At least that's what James thought, and he wanted me to keep an eye on him.
Okay.
Did James Tobin know about this letter? Did you get off on spying on Ruby for your boss?
I can't imagine that would work out well. Did Tobin find out?
Did James Tobin know about this letter?
Yeah. He caught Ruby upstairs reading it, and they had a big fight.
You were in the room?
No, I was downstairs in the gallery. But I could hear them above me arguing, especially James.
But you didn't actually see it?
No, but I saw James afterwards downstairs. He was all worked up and red in the face. He put his head up against the wall and punched a hole in it with his fist.
Did he say anything?
Yeah. He said Zach has been screwing Ruby and he's going to be very sorry. And then he wiped the vase off his desk and I got my butt out of there.
Okay, that's good. Humiliate him or attack his story? Neither of those seem very good. Here.
This whole thing makes you look like lowlife.
Why would you say that?
Simon, you told a very different story to Inspector Looper the night of the murder.
Yeah, attack is better. Probably, yeah.
Well, that was a bad time, right? I mean, I was James's friend. I didn't want to believe he really killed somebody.
What made you change your mind?
Ruby. She came over to my place after the murder, after we'd been interviewed by that inspector. We talked for a long time, almost till morning. It was real sad. She said Tobin pushed her around after he read the letter Zach wrote. I felt like a real bastard.
Why?
Because after I delivered the letter to Ruby, I told James about it. That's what started the fight. Otherwise, he would have never known about Ruby and Zach.
That's good. Okay. Cool.
Simon, did you ever tell Ruby what you did? It must have been difficult for you, caught between Ruby and Zachary and James.
Both of those are fine. Save again. Let's go with Ruby first.
Simon, did you ever tell Ruby what you did?
Of course not. What am I going to say? That I was Jimmy's little toad? That I was spying on her?
Don't worry, she won't be in the courtroom while you're testifying.
What, are you crazy? She'd hear about it.
Simon, how are you going to feel if Tobin gets away with what he did?
I don't give a damn what happens to that asshole. All right, I'll think about it.
It's a little shaky. Oh, a deal, really?
Ruby doesn't have to know everything. In court, I'll avoid embarrassing questions.
That's not going to help.
Simon, I'm going to insist you tell the full story in court. Do I have your cooperation?
No, he's going to go against us. Let's offer him the deal, see what happens.
Ruby doesn't have to know everything. In court, I'll avoid embarrassing questions.
Like what question?
Well, we won't talk about your showing Tobin the letter.
No.
But I will ask you to describe his violent behavior when he came downstairs.
No.
Why not?
I already told Ruby I didn't see him again that day. Now she'll figure out the rest of the story.
Simon, the world won't end if she doesn't.
You don't know Ruby.
Yeah, that did not go well. Yeah, okay. We don't want to offer the deal. I don't think cooperate will work either, to be honest. What was the one after Ruby? Let's go with unfair.
It must have been difficult for you, caught between Ruby and Zachary and James.
Yeah, I guess things just got out of control.
You didn't say anything about the letter to Inspector Looper, so why are you talking about it now?
I don't really know.
Can you tell me anything else about it?
No.
Okay, that doesn't really go anywhere, the unfair. We don't learn any new information. So that's not good. So we definitely want Ruby.
Simon, did you ever tell Ruby what you did?
Oh, from Looper, yeah, that was a good move.
Of course not. What am I going to say? That I was Jimmy's little toad? That I was spying on her?
Don't worry, she won't be in the courtroom while you're testifying.
What, are you crazy? She'd hear about it.
Simon, how are you going to feel if Tobin gets away with what he did?
I don't give a damn what happens to that asshole. All right, I'll think about it.
Yeah, that's at least something. All right, let's push him to cooperate, see how that works out.
Simon, I'm going to insist you tell the full story in court. Do I have your cooperation?
I don't know. I really don't want...
I don't care what you want. Your job on that stand is to tell the truth.
Yeah.
All right, that seemed good. I like that one. I think we're good on the letter. Let's get another save in here. I can probably go back to Simon 1. The question now becomes the gun and the theft. Gun. The involved is terrible. I don't know if either one of these tracks are they interdependent or not. In other words, because I got him in a good spot with the letter, do I get a new option with the art, theft, or gun? Probably not, but let's see. I remember confess didn't work out. That was why we didn't proceed, because these weren't good. But let's try to pay him off. It didn't work before.
Simon, did James Tobin ever give you anything in return for your silence?
Look, I told you what I saw that night in the gallery. Isn't that enough?
No.
Well, that's all you're gonna get.
Yeah. So I don't know how we can get him with the art theft thing. That sucks. This isn't gonna work either.
There's a good chance before this thing's over, Tobin will tell us the whole story. What'll you do then?
I don't know.
That's all I have now, Simon. I just hope you get this all sorted out by the time you're called to testify.
Hey, I can't wait.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know what to do with those last two. I think we did them all, though. I mean... Go back. I'd rather leave them, since they didn't help us, I'd rather just move on to a different witness, if possible. Because then we could go back to Simon and see if anything changed. Like if we proceeded with Ruby. Not sure. Let's see if you can go, if you're able to go back or not.
Why are you going after Jimmy?
He's been charged with murder.
But it was self-defense, I'm sure.
Alright, so this is Ruby. Well, first actually what we should do is see if you can even go back to, okay, you can go back to Simon, so that's good. Alright, cool. Alright. Here. Okay, art theft.
If we were in court, how would you testify as to Jimmy's whereabouts on the evening his paintings were stolen?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people in this city, I think Jimmy's a very good painter.
Yeah, let's...
Can you describe the stolen works?
Yeah, let's start her off easy, and then we'll try to trap her into a lie or something.
Well, they were part of his new series called The World is Burning. It was a big change from, bigger works, darker forms, more haunted. I liked him.
Was all of this series stolen?
No, he brought a couple up to the loft the night before. That's one. It's Jimmy's favorite.
Okay. Popular or benefit?
Who was the beneficiary of the policy?
Alright, we'll do insurance first. I think we did popular last time.
They both were, Zachy and Jimmy. The gallery gets half the money and Jimmy gets the rest. Same as if they'd been sold. Why?
Okay. Okay, we can still do popular.
I was just wondering, how did the public respond to Jimmy's new work?
The public. They wanted his old work, more of the same. But Jimmy had to move forward as an artist.
Did the new paintings sell?
No, and I think that's one of the reasons why he was so upset. But it's like you said, you have to paint what you feel.
That at least gives him a motive, though, for...
Ruby, my office is taking a second look at the theft of your boyfriend's paintings.
Let's get more information.
Do you mind if I ask you some personal questions about finances?
To be honest, I really don't feel comfortable talking about money.
Okay, that does not go anywhere.
I know it's difficult for you, Ruby, but this is important. Were there money problems when Jimmy's new paintings failed?
Yeah, let's go with that, I think.
All right, let's talk about the paintings. How did things change when the public rejected Jimmy's new work?
Let's go with the crisis.
I know it's difficult for you, Ruby, but this is important. Were there money problems when Jimmy's new paintings failed?
Jimmy is an artist. Just because his paintings didn't sell doesn't mean they were a failure.
Of course. But did it cause financial problems?
No, not that I knew about.
Nah.
Is there anything about the art theft you haven't told me?
Probably not.
No, I think you've worn that subject out.
Yeah. Alright, so that didn't go anywhere. Back. Alright, let's go back to artwork. I think we...
Like a lot of people in this city, I think Jimmy's a very good...
Okay, let's do popular first.
I was just wondering...
Okay, so it doesn't really matter the popularity. Let's try the involvement.
Ruby, my office is taking a second look at the theft of your boyfriend's paintings.
I don't understand.
The paintings weren't selling, and the alleged theft would have brought a big payoff from the insurance people.
Alleged theft? The paintings were stolen.
The insurance company suspects it was an inside job, and because you were close to Tobin, they wonder if you were involved.
Yeah, well, they're full of it.
Okay.
Ruby, didn't you stand to benefit as well from the insurance money?
I don't think she did, though. We can confirm.
Before the theft, I didn't even know the paintings were insured. And you know, Jimmy's lawyer told me I don't even have to talk to you, but I told her I got nothing to hide. Besides, I don't know anything else about the theft anyway.
Yeah, so that's bad. Because we already know that she wasn't a beneficiary, so why would we ask that? Okay. What if we start with the theft? Curious.
Tell me about the theft.
It was a terrible blow. Shook everybody up.
What happened?
Well, nobody knows for sure. It's just, one morning we got up and went downstairs in the gallery. Someone had broken in. They took a straight razor and they cut the paintings right out of their frames.
Was anything else taken?
No. We think the thieves might go and sell the paintings in Europe. I don't know, maybe Japan or something.
Okay. I guess...
If we were in court, how would you testify as to Jimmy's whereabouts on the evening his paintings were stolen?
He was in bed. We were both in bed.
Can you be more specific?
On the left side of the bed. I don't know how to be any more specific than that. He put his arms around me. We fell asleep.
Okay. A roll.
Ruby, my office is taking a second look at the theft of your boyfriend's paintings.
Oh. The Tobin doesn't go anywhere. We can do the artwork one. I guess we might as well.
Like a lot of people in this city, I think Jimmy's a very good painter. Can you just...
We'll do insurance.
Who is the beneficiary of the policy?
They both were, Zach and Jimmy.
Popular.
I was just
We know her involvement. Financial situation, I don't think worked out. Oh, her involvement could be okay.
Ruby, my office is taking a second look at the theft of your boyfriend's paintings.
Okay, we know not in the insurance.
Ruby, didn't you stand to benefit?
No. Artwork?
I hear that you're a very good painter yourself. Has working with Jimmy Tobin affected your work?
Give me a break. Am I supposed to fall for this? First you come in and make it sound like we're a couple of thieves.
Nope.
Next minute you're in love with my brush strokes.
I don't mean to deceive you.
Listen,
just come.
If you want me to answer you straight, talk to me straight.
Oh. Alright, so that definitely did not work out. So it seems like... Tobin was theft. So theft, there's no problem asking theft first. In fact, you don't get that later. So I think theft is good to start
Tell me
with.
about the...
We want to trap her later, but she doesn't give that information here, although she did at the trial. So, right, artwork.
Like,
we benefited.
Who was
popular? Neither of these is good. How did Tobin handle rejection?
All right, let's talk about the paintings. How did things change when the public rejected Jimmy's new work?
Oh, we did this one.
Jimmy took it hard. He was so used to everybody just loving his work.
Oh, no, we didn't.
And then suddenly, there was just no money coming in. It was hard.
For both Zach and Jimmy?
Yeah. Lately, they'd gotten used to this certain lifestyle, you know. They both had nice cars, and we'd eat out a lot, and there was this new house up at the river.
Were they desperate?
I didn't used to think so.
Could one of them have been involved in the theft?
I suppose it's possible.
Yep, that's what we want. Okay, now where was Tobin?
Ruby, can you tell me where Jimmy was the night the paintings were stolen?
No, not really.
Are you sure?
Yes. Didn't you hear me?
Why did she say that? Okay, I want to try something else. So the order definitely matters. Now, she says here he was sleeping, so maybe we do that one first, then the theft?
If we were in...
No, you can't do that.
Like a lot. Ruby, my... Hi.
Yeah, that's not gonna work out. Okay. So... if you do theft first...
Tell me about the theft.
And then you say where Tobin was, so let's try it that way.
If we were in court, how would you testify as to Jimmy's whereabouts on the evening his paintings were stolen?
But then she just says he's in bed.
He was in bed. We were both in bed.
Maybe it's good if she says I can't testify to his whereabouts. That means it's open that he stole it. So that's actually probably fine.
Like...
insurance. Popular.
I would just...
Tobin's rejection. How come I don't have that as an option here?
Ruby, my office is taking a second look at the theft of your boyfriend's paintings.
I don't understand.
The paintings weren't selling, and the alleged theft would have brought a big payoff from the insurance people.
Alleged theft? The paintings were stolen.
Okay, neither of those is good. So we don't want her involvement ever. So how did I get to this other way? Theft first.
Tell me...
Man, I think we wanted what we had. So theft, artwork.
Like a lot of people in this city, I think Jimmy's a very good painter.
Okay, now we do insurance.
Who was the...
Popular.
I was just...
damn. Financial situation?
Do you...
Okay, yeah. There we go. Financial, then Tobin's rejection.
Alright, let's talk...
And I think where was Tobin is there. She kind of responds badly, but I think this is right. Do a Ruby too.
Ruby, can you tell me where Jimmy was the night the paintings were stolen?
No, not really.
Are you sure?
Because she
Yes.
knows.
Didn't you hear me?
I think that's good. Probably is good. Cool. Alright. I like that line of questioning. Maybe... Oops. Why is this weird? Here. Oh, because of this. There we go. Alright, so where was Tobin? I don't know if we have to ask that or not. Maybe we should actually leave that for the end. I think it's probably good, but I don't like that she gets kind of sassy at the end. We'll leave that open for now. Let's go on to gun.
Did Jimmy carry a gun? Do you know if Zach owned a gun?
Let's go Zach first. Try it.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like something he'd have.
Okay, Tobin's use. Actually, I'm just curious to reveal who owns.
You might be relieved to hear the gun that killed Zachary Barnes was registered to his cousin.
The gun came from Zach's cousin?
Is there any possibility Jimmy could have somehow gotten that gun? I thought you'd be relieved, but you sound surprised.
I am relieved, I guess. It's just... Well, I went into Jimmy's cabinet, the night before Zach died, and, well, this whole thing is just so confusing.
Okay, and Sister ask.
This is very serious, Ruby. If you saw something, please tell me. Think back and see if you can remember what you saw.
Ask.
Upstairs, in Jimmy's work cabinet, next to the brushes on the middle shelf, I thought I saw something. A gun.
A gun? Well, where is this work cabinet? In the gallery?
No, upstairs in me and Jimmy's loft, in the painting studio.
When did you see it?
The night before Zach's death.
Could you identify that gun if you saw it?
I think so.
So remember, later she claimed about the lights. I mean, it seems that was good. We can try a different line of questioning. I'm gonna have to go though, but let's see. Try one more line of questioning. Gun. Let's go Tobin first.
Did Jimmy carry a gun?
No.
Did he ever bring a gun into the loft?
He didn't like guns and he didn't own one.
Tobin's use.
Did Jimmy know how to handle firearms?
No.
Doesn't seem good.
I'm sure you're telling the truth, Ruby. But maybe Jimmy was hiding the weapon from you. You may not want to hear this, Ruby, but people are saying maybe you were involved.
That's not going to do well.
I'm sure you're telling the truth, Ruby. But maybe Jimmy was hiding the weapon from you.
What are you saying? Jimmy wouldn't hide anything from me.
Apologize.
I'm sorry. I know that you and Jimmy were close. Ruby, isn't it at all possible that he's deceiving you?
Listen, you said you want to talk to me about the gun. Instead, you just attacked my boyfriend.
Well, do you know anything about the gun?
No, I don't.
So yeah, that didn't work out well at all. Okay, let's just try one more. We'll do a gun. Zach.
Do you know if Zach...
Tobin's use.
Did Jimmy know how to handle firearms?
No.
Reveal who owns.
You might be relieved to hear.
Belonged to Zach's cousin. Give it up. I'm trying to make a case out of nothing.
Yeah, that's bad. All right, so I think we got the right combination there. To be honest, we can try a few times later just to confirm, but I think we got it right. Okay, cool. And we have that save in. Well, we don't have the save in there, but we know what the line of questioning is for guns. So, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to call it here, but we'll pick this up tomorrow, and we'll see what progress we can make. I mean, we're very close here to at least maybe perfecting the interviews. I mean, we obviously have to do the Zach section too, or the one more line, but we're very close. And then hopefully, I think we'll have had it. We can go into the trial. Then the trial will be useful because then we can see what our weaknesses are. Like what areas did we not get information on? Oh, is the stream down? Oh, well, I had to end anyway.